everyone to another episode of Solar Power Bodies, Voices of Wellness, where we explore the path to achieving holistic well-being and empowering lives. I'm your host, the triple board certified Dr. T. Mando Denson L., and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. Our show is dedicated to bringing you insightful conversations with experts, thought leaders, and inspiring individuals who are making a difference in the world of wellness. From mental health and physical fitness to spiritual growth and personal development, we cover it all to help you thrive in every aspect of your life. So get ready for another solar power conversation as we dive into coaching techniques and transformative power, the work that we do. So sit back, relax, and let us get started on another exciting episode of Solar Powered Bodies, Voices of Wellness. Today we have Jonathan Simos, a master trainer and a Guinness World Record holder. That's right, a Guinness World Record holder, specializing in holistic wellness and mindset transformation. With an inspiring entrepreneurial journey, he empowers busy professionals to build wellness foundations and incorporate effective training into their lives. Jonathan's expertise helps refine mindsets and create sustainable, balanced lifestyles from the inside out. Jonathan Simos, welcome to Solar Power.
Thank you, Dr. Tamanda. I appreciate that. I'm honored to be here today.
Awesome, man. Listen, I don't know, man, but whatever you're doing over there in Sarasota, Florida, keep doing that, man. Your social media is on fire, right?
Thank you.
That is a well presentation. Tell me, man, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Absolutely. I grew up in Florida in Sarasota. Even though I lived other places, I came back home to my home city, and I was always active. But to give you a little overview, I when I started getting into fitness, I couldn't afford a personal trainer. And so I learned the hard way through trial and error, asking strangers at the gym when they would finish a set. I'd be like, excuse me, what is that? What does that do?
Okay,
And I'd go
okay.
home and I would try to research whatever I could find. And the internet was, relatively new at that time. So there weren't a lot of resources. So I would Google what I could, trying to learn everything I could. But anyways, I began experiencing imbalances and injuries because there's a right way and a wrong way to exercise. So then eventually I pursued the credentials to fix myself. And in fixing myself and then eventually performing on another level, I found a passion for inspiring others to basically make an easier transition into a healthier lifestyle. So
Mm.
finally getting into that years later, trying to help people integrate fitness into their busy lives.
I'm going to ask you a set of your professional background since you touched it. I love it. Um, I'm inspired, man. It's hard to inspire me, right? I'm not easy inspired, at least if they think so, right? Then I see you guys and the sisters out there and just practicing wellness. And it's so inspirational, right? Talking about not just wellness, but holistic wellness, right? Healing, teaching the people how to heal themselves and how to prevent disease and how to heal themselves from disease and ailments and just live longer and healthier and happier, more quality of life and quantity of life. So that's always inspiring to me to see the journeys and hear the stories. And right now, yours has been a peak. So I was like, no, this guy, go,
Thank you.
right? He's serious. This guy is freaking serious, right?
Yeah,
So that's awesome.
that means
So,
a
how
lot. I
did your
appreciate it.
journey as a master trainer? Because you became a master trainer, not just a trainer.
Yes, yes. I in quarantine actually, I started getting more certifications because I was laid off from the fitness industry, had a lot of time, and so I started getting as many certifications as I could get. And then on the other side, I was trying to push, my performance limits to see what the human body is capable of being drug free. And so I'd push the limits, I'd break through a plateau, keep pushing, break through a plateau. And I was so fascinated by how the human body can adapt. And
Yeah,
so I try to pursue the credentials on both sides as an athlete and then also as a trainer to have a more, well-rounded approach to help people. And
that
it's
was
amazing.
good. Yes,
And
so. How long did that journey take you? How long was it from, um, I'm in the health and I'm in the fitness industry to let me rise to the that top level of the fitness industry?
it was a good amount of time. I would say the first one, the CPT, didn't take too long, maybe like 4 or 5 months. And then the next one, a lot of them are shorter, but then some of them are longer. So, and then with getting experience in different group training settings, like I was a coach for Camp Gladiator, which was outdoor boot camps, and it was amazing because I got to learn how to integrate, fun interactive workouts. Then I worked at Orange Theory, and I got to learn a new style of, interval training, all of that. And the community was amazing. And then I got to work at a functional facility where they had like obstacle course racing classes, Ninja Warrior classes. And so the experience with the credentials, I'd say a few years, to get all the both
Yeah.
sides of it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a study. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a trainer. I'm going to be a
No.
trainer. I'm master trainer. So
Yes.
now, of incorporating all of those different credentials and certifications and the experience of application, how does it separate you from me, just a fitness trainer, a wellness trainer?
I would say from I mean you offer a lot. So, I can't compare to you with what you do,
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's
but
different.
yeah, I mean,
But
and you're so
in general,
holistic. Yeah, but if I'm comparing myself to someone who just got the CPT, it's a great
yeah.
certification and they can provide a lot of value. But most of them tend to focus on just the physical. And so I like the holistic approach where I like to not only get the mind more involved, to discover or establish a fundamental why, like a reason why they're training, and
Mm,
dig
mm,
deep and all of that. But also,
mm.
I like integrating efficient and effective workouts and simplifying things and teaching them how to work out and how to integrate, uh, a quick workout because the average personal trainer has a client for 7 months. And after that, they fall off the map or they just continue doing what they think they know how to do and they kind of often stay at a certain level. Some take it to another level, the ones that really want to learn, but most people are kind of stuck at a base level. And if I have the opportunity to educate them more, you know, even if they go on their own in 6 7 months, they're going to be on a much higher level. They're going to have that health and wellness in their own hands. So basically teaching them how to train on their own, a little more holistic, basically.
Guinness Book of World Guinness World
Yeah.
Records, right? Um, we watched Guinness, we read Guinness. It's like beyond our imaginations. It's like the world's strongest man, the world's this or that. How has being a Guinness World Record holder helped to shape your approach to wellness and mindset coaching?
Ah, that's a good question. I would say um, I initially wanted to get, at least one for to use it as a tool and to try to set myself apart, in a sense, to inspire. Uh, it hasn't, aside from that, it hasn't been as beneficial, but experience-wise, applying that experience, I would say it taught me that we're capable, a lot more capable than we think we are. Because I'm just, regular guy, worked out my whole life and pushed limits my whole life. A regular guy, drug-free, so never taking steroids. Um, I've just worked out with such high intensity my whole life. And so training for that record, it only took a couple months because I had that foundation. I just specialized
Mm.
for a couple months. So it taught me, how to focus, how to be more disciplined, to believe in yourself, and that you're much more capable than you think you are, for sure.
Uh, um, that's inspiration, right?
Thank
That's
you.
it's just inspiring, right? So let me share as a client, as a person who wants or seeks fitness and wellness, and there's so many different choices and options and modalities, right? To physical fitness, and here it is. They say, well, this guy got two world records, two Guinness World Records, in the Guinness Book of World Records twice for blah blah blah. That doesn't shift our attention to you, that doesn't increase our, the need for us or your client contact base?
I hope so. I'm hoping it helps me.
It
It
hasn't yet, you mean?
I think it has a little bit with credibility and as a tool, but I'm
Yeah.
just starting to leverage it now. So I'm just
I
starting
know
to
what you
see.
mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But I guarantee you for sure, you didn't do it. You was a seed that you sown not once but twice. So you meant it, right? And there are certain registries in the world, right, that lead to some increased credibility, increased lucrative opportunities, right? And so that's inspiring, man, to even have the mindset to focus on a Guinness in
Thank you.
health and physical fitness, right? You be talking about because the first thing we think is the world's strongest man, the person who, jumped off the highest mountain to climb the highest mountain in the world. And so that alone, I have a buddy, he's training for Guinness at this moment.
Oh,
He
really?
was training for Guinness World Records, strongest man in bench press deadlift, right?
Oh, wow.
And he tore his Achilles heel, you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
out there,
man.
the security man. Actually, we was doing some football stuff with the children that summer, and he tore his Achilles, took him 2 or 3
Mm.
years to heal. Now he's training again for it. But he broke it over and over and over again. And Guinness, they sent it to Guinness, and then he said, okay, well, come do it for us, right? And
Ah,
but when I think Guinness, I'm thinking world's strongest man to lift trucks and pull cars. But then you come and you establish it from this perspective as a credential, right? As a
yes.
credential. And that is a different focus. That's a different mindset, right? It's a different intention and it's a different reward, right?
True. True.
It's not just bragging rights, because I guess he figured once he won that he would get into wrestling or something. I don't know. But here you are, man, and that's inspiring. I would imagine, and I could see that I would like to train with a Guinness World Record holder, right? That would increase my value if I had to choose between spending my money with Jake and them at Powerhouse or this world record holder. I want to be a little bougie, right? I'm gonna take the high, I want to, you like good meat, you like good cars and good shoes. I want a good trainer, got a world record holder. Are you in a gym again? I'm in a gym with a Guinness World Record holder, too, right? So
Thank
they're
you,
like, oh, okay.
man.
So yeah, I'm sorry, man. I got twisted around there.
Oh, no, I
It's
appreciate it.
inspirational. What inspired you to focus on helping busy professionals refine their mindsets, transform their lives?
I would say I had a hard time because I wanted to focus on two target audiences. One was beginners, since I had to learn the hard way, and I want to help people learn so they don't have to, learn the hard way. But then the other is busy professionals, people who are high performers because they value the education, they value what I want to provide, taking things to the next level. And my training style is very efficient and effective, so it's not a bodybuilding routine. Nothing against that, but it's not bodybuilding, it's not CrossFit. It's just,
Yeah.
you get in, you get out, 3, 4 times a week, and you can
Mhm.
get your cardio in, your weight training in. So it helps everybody, integrate fitness into their lifestyle and scale it. So if they want to be, an athlete and they have more time, they can scale it up. If they're, a doctor or, like a busy mom, they can scale it back and, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. So basically it fits to your lifestyle.
That's right. That's right. Okay. 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 And that's what made you want to focus on them. It's basically, first of all, they're an unanswered need, right? They're too busy, lifestyle, but they also value what you bring, and they know exactly what that means to them and what that is worth, what the value of that is. That's a good to
Definitely.
change. Yeah, that's good. You want to help the people. You're helping all the way around, but this is more of a nonprofit love for the helping the people, right? And just being an assistance in this in the corporate world, you can actually scale.
Yeah, yeah. So it's I want everyone to have the benefits of working out because it's changed my life. It's it's I'm 36 and it's made me able to retain being functional and perform at like the same level that I've performed at like the last decade with minimal effort. So if I have like I had a small business the last 3 years, and then the failing, it was a food related business. I stepped out of fitness for a while, had this business, and I was working all the time, and I was able to squeeze in a couple workouts a week, sometimes only
Mhm.
one workout a week, but by scaling it back it still keeps the ball rolling where I could maintain instead of falling off, getting back on, falling off.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
want to teach everyone how to, keep the ball rolling for the mental benefits, the physical benefits, longevity, because that's the biggest problem I've seen is people they don't know how to keep the ball rolling. They don't know how to scale it
yes,
back.
yes. That's me. That's to me. That's traditionally my story. I focus when I have to, if my scale or this or that says what are you doing? Right. Then I'll focus for a month or, I'm a master in a month, right? 30, 45 days, you can't tell me nothing, right? Then I'll scale back one, two, three. Now I'm just consistent, right, between me and my clients. I kind of cheat a little bit because I work out myself, but then I also work alongside of my clients too, right?
Two
So
for
I get
one.
a double. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that keeps me consistent. Um, that's great. Okay, can you share some of the insights from your entrepreneurial journey and how it influenced your work? I think you just answered that for the most part.
Yeah, if you want me to elaborate,
Yeah.
I could go on about it was rough. I learned a lot of discipline because I had it was called Greek Triangles. It was a small business where I made Greek food. It's called spanakopita. And there were days where I had to work 2 days straight. No sleep, just literally wrapping the products, wrapping pies, baking them, preparing for the farmers markets, right into the farmers markets, right into cleaning. So and then to make the story even crazier, so I learned a lot of discipline and how to be relentless and how not to give up. And it was a seasonal business. So summertime we would break even. We would make our money,
Right.
6 months of the year. This city's so seasonal, other 6 months we wouldn't make money. So every summer I would try something different. The last summer I had a part-time job supporting the small business. And but then
Right.
they didn't need me anymore. So I had 2 months to figure out what to do. So I ended up going up north. And this is where the story gets crazy. I drove up to Illinois because their summer season is their busy season. It's the opposite of ours. And there's a couple seasonal vendors that would go back and forth. So I set up the markets, I set up the kitchen, I set up a storage unit. I headed up there and I was supposed to rent a room once I started the business going. So I got up there, everything was perfect. I had all the markets, everything was flowing, but they weren't as busy as they were supposed to be. The other two
Mm,
vendors told me I'd make all my money up there, 70% of my income, more than Florida up there, but they weren't as busy because I think because of the election year and also the economy. So I did good for the first 2 weeks, but then it fell off every
mm,
I couldn't afford a room. I couldn't afford a
mm,
place to live. So I ended up being homeless. So I
mm,
literally slept in my car and I'd shower at an Anytime Fitness and I would
mm.
operate out of the commercial kitchen and a storage unit. And I have a little system down. I'd roll out my bed at night. Like I was homeless for 4 months trying to make that business work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
learned a lot, and then finally it was time to let it go. Came back to Florida, but learned a lot about living in the moment, appreciating the little things, um,
Mhm.
adversity, not giving up. It was a special time.
That was an amazing lesson. That was an amazing story. That amazing story, and it's really a triumph, right? It was
Thank
really
you.
a triumph. Because imagine that set you forward, didn't it?
It did. It was at the time I thought it was a setback, but it
Yeah.
made me realize it was time to let the business go. And
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I learned so much and met amazing people up there. And it added to my story. So yeah, I can't complain.
Word. Word. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Okay. You talk about creating a strong wellness foundation. Um, why is that essential for long-term success? And what is a strong wellness foundation?
Yes, I actually created the word because I feel like everyone needs a solid base, and I don't want to call it just a fitness foundation because they need the mental just as much as the physical, if not more. So I'm trying to teach everyone they need a wellness foundation, and I created within that it's 5 pillars. So mindset, movement, and then momentum, which is, certain things like taking action and discipline and all that, nutrition and lifestyle. So there's the different pillars, and that they it kind of systemizes things. And so I feel like everyone needs that foundation, because if they have the mindset and the fitness, the movement, they might not have, be taking action, pursuing their dreams, being true to themselves, trying to improve and grow every day. So they might not have the momentum, or the nutrition might be lacking, or the lifestyle might be lacking. They might not have any social time, with loved ones, friends, family. They might not have any balance. So I feel like those 5 pillars like cover everything. So kind of
Mm.
systemizes it. And
That is, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
oh no, I was just gonna
Not
say,
stopping.
oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say, to answer your question, I forgot the first part. And everyone needs it because yeah, it's happiness, fulfillment. It all comes down to just being happy and fulfilled in life.
Yeah, you answered that. How do you the meaning of a strong wellness foundation, and how do you establish a wellness foundation for yourself? But you just explained it, and does that take the form in a program or a course?
Yes. So I'm actually working on putting together my community, and then a course to help people build that in the simplest way. It's almost done. So maybe another month or two, and I'll have that put together. I'm trying to figure out the online world, and so I'm slowly learning.
You like you're a quick learner than me.
Thank
You're a
you.
fast study than me. So you look like you've been actually putting it together for some years. So you got a great team. Say tell your team thank you, and we appreciate it because they really, you know, they did a great and amazing job. Congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
And the fact that you put in enough work for it to come across the platforms that way, right? To be able to
Yeah,
get caught in the moment of doing and demonstrating your today versus your yesterday, right? And to have that story to tell, right? To live that story out loud so that people can see that story. And I keep going back to a Guinness World Record holder. So, we can talk about that later. um,
thank you.
you just said that. Now I'm going to talk about mindset and lifestyle
Yeah,
transformations, right? Um, connect the necessity of mindset coaching or the role of mindset in sustainable wellness.
definitely. So I'm still learning that side because I'll elaborate in a moment, but I have a really close friend who's a mental performance specialist, and so he's sort of the cornerstone of that side within the
Okay.
community and the brand.
Okay.
But I'm trying to learn for myself because I'm about to launch my one-on-one coaching, and I'm gonna integrate that to a degree. But I
Yeah.
know it comes down to self-discovery and really digging deep and thinking about who you are, what you want, how you feel about yourself, overcoming things from your past, breaking it down, really getting that clarity, and
Mm-hmm.
then learning how to control emotions, shift emotions, uh, and all of that. So there's a lot to it, but
Right.
generally people can start with that self-discovery.
Yeah, yeah, and you are an example of that. Okay, so your story alone is going to be that answer, right? Your presence alone, your consistency alone, your propagation alone is the answer to that question, right? How
Right.
did you get here? What made you say, you just said that living in the moment, seeing how far the human body can go, how far can I take the human body, right? Things like that. 'Cause I get into some parables in a minute. So that is good. I'm glad to hear that. What are the most common barriers for busy professionals? What is the most common barriers they face when you're trying to incorporate for them?
Definitely. I would say the first one's lack of time, and they think that they need to be in the gym for, 6, 7 days a week for like an hour and a half. So there's a misconception. They don't realize that, 30 minutes twice a week has huge results.
Very.
It's crazy. Like working out is the biggest investment that compounds
Mhm.
because you not only, get out what you put in, but you get way more than what you put in. It's
That's
crazy.
correct.
It's
And it's
insane.
working for you after you're not.
Oh,
See,
yes.
so I had to tell them, I said, I mean, you only need 30 minutes, right? We do 20 cardio, right? 20 cardio, light resistance, light, low impact, and breathe, 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 right? That alone. And then I just have them mobile, right? No weights, 10 pounds, the bar. I just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see your body do this 50 times. Because if I told you to do it 50, 100 times, you'll find a reason not to. But if I
True.
say, hold this and pull it down with no weights at all, and let it just drag you 50 times, you're like, oh, that's really light, right? So, but I got you to move that 50 times, right?
Yeah.
And then I do that again, and I do that again, right? So you didn't even know you just did 150 of those, and you just went over there and said 75 of those with lightweight, no resistance, but your whole body has had some resistance. Your whole body has
True.
tightened. Your blood has went through there, and twice a week, 3 times a week. If I
Oh,
got to
yeah.
knock on your door, come on, and they look up and it's 8 pounds, and it's 10 pounds, and it's 12
Yeah.
pounds and they, oh, my stomach shrunk. I'm not that hungry anymore, right?
Oh,
Because they've been
yeah.
practicing some fasting. They've been fasting to get past the weight barriers, right? Those plateaus,
Definitely.
not knowing that you're actually shrinking the stomach itself, right?
It's amazing.
Requiring less, right? And so, like you said, just chopping at it a little bit at a time, consistently, you know,
I
unless you
love
get ready
that.
to train for a fight, you don't need to, you know, lose 100 pounds in 3 days, right? Unless
Oh,
you're
yeah.
Rocky Balboa, right?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely what you're
Um,
saying.
give me just describe a success story for a client, one of your clients,
Okay. I had an older
where they
gentleman.
successfully, where they changed their mindset and the lifestyle.
Ah, okay, perfect. I would say I had a client who middle-aged, and she I think she was like late 40s, or early 50s, and amazing woman. She had, typical challenges where, a little bit overweight, a little bit of back pain, from sitting a lot. Because when you sit a lot, your hip flexors get tight and it turns your glutes off, and it can lead to all kinds of little things. So and then with that, she started getting frustrated, and it's crazy how everything comes together. You might, if you don't feel good and you don't feel good
Yes,
about yourself, you're not going to be as
yes,
social typically,
yes,
and you're not going to eat as healthy. So when we started working out, she started eating healthier, and with eating healthier and working out, she started losing weight and also building confidence as she got stronger. And so it all comes together. So, and she also started adopting more of a growth mindset, being open to learning, being open to grow, and having more energy and more focus. So, yeah, over time, she was like a completely different person. And
yes.
it's amazing how it all comes together.
Yeah. So you're well. I like the term wellness foundation. Um, Do you find that that makes it simpler for them to grasp and for you to teach the five pillars, right? Five pillars. Boom, 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 right? Do you find that modality as a favorable one for you and them, or are you tweaking it still?
I'm still refining it a little bit, and so it hasn't gotten traction yet. I haven't really launched it yet, but it's I think it'll catch on. I think it'll
Okay.
simplify things. But I don't have any real world examples yet since
Okay.
I just finished creating that even a couple weeks ago. So it's pretty new.
Okay. 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 It's probably something that some of the key pillars and principles you were working on with them in order for you to
Yes.
say that works. You
Oh
know,
yes,
because
definitely.
it's a science. It's a science of the body and the mind, right? And so it's an ology, a group of ologies, right?
That's
So
true.
you definitely had to put it in a subject, a test tube, the subject, control study, and the open study. Um, because I practice a ton of things. I wanted to see how it works. They may not know I was practicing, right? But once I see the successes and the success, I can now refer that on. And it developed the DEC3 model. I have a DEC3 model,
I
right,
like that.
of healthcare, right? And I like to say we have had 100% success rate, right? No
Nice.
failures, right? Because as long as they started, as long as they try, as long as they began, as long as they make steps, sow seeds, right? Nurture the soil, consistency. If we can get you to cover any ground, you're succeeding, right?
True.
In a
Yes.
recovery, those small wins must be celebrated, right?
Absolutely.
If I teach, I walk with my clients 30 steps a month, 30 paces, right? 30 paces. If you take me, I wake up in the morning, I'm trying to, I'm an animal. I'm trying to do 50 paces a day, right? If I can. Whatever's on my to-do list, I got 50 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. If I only got to G today, then H is going to be A tomorrow, right?
Nice. Oh yeah.
And so that is how I bend time, right? How you take a year worth of work and you do it in a week. Not necessarily the healthiest. I don't recommend that for people, but for some of us, that's what you're doing with yourself, right? You did that. That's how you got where you are. That's what sets you apart from the other person in the gym,
True. You're
right?
being
Michael
efficient.
Jordan went in at 4 or 5 in the morning and he stayed to 4 or 5 in the morning, right? And he took a million, two, three, 10 million shots until it was hard to miss, right? That's the story of greatness. And it sounds and looks to me that you do that. You can see the recipe of success in so many people. And 35, you said you're 35 years old?
36.
36, man, you youngin, you know. You're a youngster, but you right on time. You got the right mindset, man. That's a solar powered mindset.
Thank
Nothing
you.
but greatness can emanate from it. Nothing. Anytime you focused on what you focused on and the steps that you've taken to, support and build a foundation for what you're doing, you spent more time in Illinois figuring that out than it's going to take you to launch something magnificent you already have,
That's
right?
inspiring. That's inspiring.
Wow.
Man.
We all, we others can see us where we fail to see ourselves most, right? Where we
That's
fail to see ourselves, others discover us most plainly,
that's a good
right?
point. That's a very good
you
point.
know, I talk about all the time. They say, Dr. D, doc, doc, doc. And I'm like, with me? I need a doctor. What did you mean? And then I realized where we fail to see ourselves, others discover us most plainly,
I love
right?
that.
And so that is a beautiful thing. Another thing is in fact you inspired me, and I hear the solar powered holistic health and wellness. When I say solar powered, I mean activities inspired by the sun synthesis in the person, right?
That's why it's solar powered.
Solar
Nice.
powered, right?
Oh
Solar
yes.
powered is, we're living closest to the sun, right? We're living closest to the nutrients of the sun, the benefits of the sun, the activities of the sun, right? The process that the sun takes in healing our bodies or sustaining our bodies, from the vegetables nutrition to the oxygen, the clean air, clean water, right? You pushing all the toxins out of the body at all times, absorbing the benefits of the sun, not eating the bad stuff, sticking away from that as much as possible
Oh
and
yeah.
living as close as you can to the sun, cutting out the middleman for your nutrients, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, and so the body becomes saturated with the sun. You're harnessing the sun from those fruits, those strawberries, those pineapples, those avocados. You're harvesting the sun. That's what you're looking for.
I
It's the
like
sun
that.
synthesis in that plant that made you feel, that gave you that. The chlorophyll that's generated by the sun synthesis and photosynthesis, the chlorophyll in those spinaches, in those greens, is what made you uh, so it's the sun. You say, eat your spinach, eat your pineapples. You mean eat the sun, right? Eat
True.
all the colorful things because the colorful things are harnessing the light of the sun. And you want to eat that as raw or as close to raw as possible. So you're eating the sun, literally. And that sun, unaltered, is saturating, infiltrating, and cleansing. You're using it as a cleansing agent, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
blowing through cells, it's regenerating tissues, it's regenerating muscles, it's isolating free radicals, right? It's neutralizing fats, right? Um, and that sun, that's all the power of the sun. So
So
solar
powerful.
power, yes.
I love the way you put
So
that.
and then we
Solar power.
drink the sun. So we bottle the sun up and we drink it. You drink the sun when you make a smoothie.
Ah, that's true. I didn't know. I never thought about it
You
like
drink the
that.
sun.
But you're
Right.
right.
Except they
Yeah.
start putting milk in their smoothies, and that's where they throw
Oh,
it off.
I can't
Right.
do that either. I don't like milk and smoothies.
No. I'm gonna take that and throw it right in the blender, throw it right over some ice, hit me some onion, some ginger, and some cayenne and some pepper, and it's delicious. It's
That
the
sounds
best thing
good.
ever.
That combination. I'm
Okay.
gonna try that. Some ginger.
um uh what does it mean to you to work from the inside out when you guide your clients?
I would say working for the inside out. So that would be starting with mindset and then making sure they have their fundamental why they're working out, big picture, that fundamental reason, and a short-term goal, and then
Mhm.
digging in deep, what their values are, their principles, their current lifestyle, their ideal lifestyle, to work towards becoming that man or woman they want to be and creating that dream lifestyle that they want to be living. So as they
Mm.
work out, they're working towards creating themselves and that lifestyle because it all starts from within. So if they're just, in there doing curls, their mind somewhere else, they're not going to get very far. They might get a little more definition, and that's about it. It's just going to be shallow benefits because they have shallow approach. So try to take it deep, basically.
So we're a class. We're in your class. We invited you to our class, and I'm 300 pounds, and he has gout, and she has a goiter, right? And we just want to get started. We may not be able to handle the level of fitness that you've endured, but I'm sure you have the answers because you got there, right? How, what would you tell us to get started? In 30 days, I want to lose weight. I want to have less cholesterol. I want to have less diabetes. I reverse my A1Cs, my hemoglobin, slow that. Give me a 30-day. Can you tell us what you would do for us? We all got different conditions. So what can we do consistently
Yeah, no,
to
absolutely.
across the board to lose 14 to 25 pounds and reverse my A1C, hemoglobins, high
Yeah.
cholesterol?
No, that's a great question. I would say starting with what you can. So, scaling it back to meet you where you are. So literally if, one of the clients can only do walk and doesn't have maybe they might have like a knee injury or a shoulder injury, starting what you can. So if they can only swim, to start and do some dynamic exercises, on the ground like bird dog, hip bridges, starting with whatever you can, any movement. If it's just walking twice a week, started walking twice a week and then progressing from there because it's so interesting. I've talked to people who tell me their fitness journey started with just, walking once a week. Like a walk started their fitness journey. Then they started lifting weights. Then they started, riding a bike. So the
That's right.
smallest bit of activity just gets the momentum. So I would say starting where they can, one of those members might be able to, one of those clients might be able to do a little more dynamic exercises, full body weight. One of them might have to start with just walking. One of them might has to, might be a little more advanced. And then the mental
Hmm.
side, I would say starting habits like daily reading. So I forgot to mention that earlier. So try to read a
Okay.
chapter a day of a self-development book, and I can have recommendations. Um, and so the mind and the body both getting worked in a sense. And then on top
Hmm.
of that, spending a little bit of time to to dig deep. So self-awareness, establishing their fundamental why that I mentioned, their values, their principles, because it's crazy. So many people never take time to dig deep and really figure out who they are. And that should be
Mm.
taught in school at a young age. We should be,
Heavy.
yeah, we should be told to really reflect and get deep and figure out who we think we are, who we want to be, our values, our principles. That's our responsibility, you know?
That's right. Shed light on the mind.
Yes.
Shed light on the soul. Shed light on it. Expose it to some sunlight. Right.
Ah, yes.
Um, yes. Yeah. I look at everything in sunlight. Right. That sun is the answer to me. Right. Um, it healed me. It reversed everything. But I got some shoulder torn rotator that
Uh,
drinking solar powered tea doesn't fix the rotator cuff, right? That
True.
doesn't work like that. But every other ailment that isn't broken or torn, right, it's been reversed. Thank goodness.
That's
Um,
amazing.
I want to. I'm ask you in your training. You are now, mind you, we're all on different journeys. Um, Someone's on a keto diet, someone's on a high protein, some's on a different kind of diet.
Mhm.
How do you train when you're training for optimum performance to your specifics? What does a diet look like to you in an average week?
I would say to make it simple, I try to be whole foods. So, not preservatives, not packaged, trying to eat as fresh as possible. I do like a balance of um, meat. So, beef, chicken, fish, and then, vegetables. I like my oatmeal. I know some people are more keto or more meat-based, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like my oatmeal in the morning with some peanut butter in it, a little bit of honey.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I feel like, and then I feel like everyone has, slight dietary preferences, but generally just whole foods, avoiding preservatives, avoiding sweets. And then my dad is from Greece, and so we'd go there every, 2, 3 years when I was growing up. Uh, and they would put olive oil on everything. And
That's right.
I started loving it. I put olive oil on everything.
But me too. Everything.
That's funny. It's
Everything.
so healthy, so good.
Yeah,
So
and it's so healthy, right? It's healthy, on top and inside, right?
yes, that's true.
Okay. So do you eat that's your diet because you're building and building and cutting muscle? So you choose that diet as opposed to if you were trying to do something else, you would eat a different diet? Or is that just what you like to eat?
It pretty much it works for me across the board, but if I want to get a little leaner, I'll cut out the any extra sugar. Aside from a little bit of fruit, I'll cut out anything that
The
might have some
peanut
added
butter and
sugar.
the oatmeal?
Yeah, I'll cut back on the honey, even though honey's good for you, I'll cut back on the sugars and the carbs a little, and I'll get a little leaner.
Yeah.
But generally, it's like a Mediterranean diet, and it seems to work well for
Okay.
me.
Okay. So you just have to go work out a lot.
Yes, yeah, staying
Yeah.
active helps a
Okay.
lot.
Okay. So I eat so that I don't have to work out as hard as you,
Uh,
right? I want some tone and some definition, and I want to
I
be
see.
sexy over 50, and but I don't. So I eat for that, right?
That's
I'm still
good.
reversing some ailments. You're far in advance in your health, right? You've already put the work in to be to conditioned yourself to that, and so it's levels to this. This is why it was
Thank
most
you.
important that I had you there, so my clients can see there is levels to this, right?
I see. But your story is very inspiring. I have to say, from the little bit that I've heard, it sounds very inspiring.
I appreciate that. It was quite a journey as well. Let me see here. Let me see if my guest has any question for you. Any questions? Mm, now, Mike, how do you ensure your clients' changes are sustainable and not
Mm,
just temporary?
that's a good question. So that's the number one thing is by incorporating the mindset and the lifestyle changes, it becomes a lifestyle. You know, it integrates into their lifestyle. So it's not like they have the same exact lifestyle and they're just training with the trainer two, 3 times a week.
Yeah,
They start, reading every day and incorporating that in their morning routine. So, having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning, reading a chapter,
mhm.
doing their workout either morning or afternoon,
Oh,
you
yeah.
meeting new
You can
people.
add that one piece to a normal regimen and
Yeah.
make it consistent.
And then when they
And
go, with the fitness side, they meet new people, they get those social connections. Like when I worked at Orange Theory, everybody knew each other, everyone held each other accountable. They looked forward to having that social time. So they naturally it becomes their life. It all comes together. And
yeah,
so someone might feel, for example, someone might feel like lonely and they might be overweight or they might, just not be happy for different reasons, but they start exercising, they start, reading every day, they start maybe jumping into a couple group classes somewhere, and next thing they're eating healthier, they're losing weight, they're getting more
that's right.
confident, they're meeting amazing people, they're going out with these amazing people, maybe for lunch. You know what I mean? It changes their life.
That's right. That was a great, great answer, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, got one. This is a magic. This is a blitz question. I think. Yep. This is a blitz question. No, we had the blitz. Yeah, that's we. Are we? Okay. But I'm going to ask you anyway. Um, how do you? No, that's not the question. I'm going to not do that. You talked about your expansion to expand this business, right? To expand your business. Um, your the business of coaching and fitness. Where do you see that at in the next 2 years?
I would like to start with the community where every month I'm gonna do like a webinar. I have a podcast where it's like it shares people's fitness journeys, and so I'd actually love to have you on one day as well soon. I'll have to follow up with
Okay,
you.
all right. Matter
Uh,
of fact, I was looking at it. Please tell us about that real quick because we didn't even talk about it.
oh yeah, no worries. It's called Excel Beyond Boundaries. I'm at episode 23, so it's new. But it basically is just sharing your story and offering some insight, how you got into fitness and it's so inspiring because like I mentioned before, it's like everyone has started with something small. Like one person started with a walk and now they're, deep into the fitness industry. Um,
Yes,
it's amazing to hear everyone's stories.
yes.
And so I have the community, and then I want to have an automated course that I'm putting together, and the one-on-one coaching, and eventually an experience with my friend, with a couple key people that I'm working with. Well,
I want to be in that experience.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna be down here on the nutritional side mindset while y'all doing the high powered stuff.
yeah, it'll all come together, and I love how, like in the industry, we all support each other. There's so many ways to
Yeah.
support each other, for sure.
Yes, this is amazing conversation. This is a solar powered conversation. I want you guys to recognize that each of my guests are high energy, high vibrational, positive, like minded, and focused on their industry. And they're all from different modalities and modes of health and wellness, but they all have something in common: a light heart, right, and a focused mind. This is solar power. It's like the helium. See, I had to teach a lesson. I'm gonna drop this lesson right quick. He, right? Helium, He1, He2. Helium is known to be the lightest element or ultra gaseous matter in the Earth's atmosphere. Whether that is final fact or not, it is. But every time we think, right, helium is fired off. It's a byproduct, it's an exhaust of the brain cell. The synaptic cleft fire, and the thoughts go from left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. And there's an exhaust from every spark, like a spark plug or a spark, there's an exhaust. That exhaust is partly helium. So my thoughts rise, right? Helium is the lightest gaseous matter in the in
Ah,
Earth's atmosphere. It's the only gas, well, known to man that is that you put in a balloon, it escapes, it goes through the atmosphere, right? We use for hot air balloons, right? If you take the helium and put it in your mouth, say me, you the light thing, right?
that's true.
Helium is so light that it escapes gravity. Okay, and since it is a byproduct of your thought process, after you as you think and that thought takes place, that thought is now into the atmosphere, right? And it's
Interesting.
helium, so it's rising fast, right? It could be a simple thought, simple seed. It could be a major thought, compounded in a consistent thought, and it'll be repeatedly released into the ultra atmosphere, right? In the outer bounds,
Interesting.
right? So I don't know if one's a religious or non-religious, but even scientifically, it escapes gravity. It escapes the murky ethers of the flesh, right? There's nothing holding a thought back,
That's
right?
fascinating.
So positive thoughts, positive effects, negative thoughts, not so positive effects, right? So so I'm looking at that result of positive reinforcement and positive thoughts about oneself when I see you guys able to resonate that solar energy, that sunshine to everybody else. I thank you, man. I'm gonna ask you one more thing and then I'm gonna leave you be. 60 seconds. Give the audience the magic. Give us the secret, man. Right? Give us one thing that we can walk away with and try tomorrow, tonight, and say, I learned that from Jonathan Simos.
Absolutely. I would say, find a popular self-development book and start trying to read one chapter a day. And then with the physical side, the nutritional side, cut out the sodas, cut out the sugar, just fruits and vegetables will taste better by doing that. Have more whole foods. With the fitness side, just try to get in a nice long walk once a week to start and
Mm,
another, once a week, at least some body movement, once, twice a week, some body weight squats, some dynamic exercises, just get your body moving and then let things unfold. That's all it
thank you.
takes.
Thank you. One more time. Tell us, people, right now, where can we find you? We want to get in your class. I want to watch you train other people because I saw some of that and it's quite exciting. How do they get it?
Thank you. They can follow me on Instagram at Jonathan. So JONATHAN.SIMOS on Instagram. Or my website, it redirects to the community, but it's not quite finished yet, but that's gonna be Neuxist, NEUXIST.com. So that'll be my community where everything will be.
Awesome, man. As you're inspiring. I'm actually proud for you and of you too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Thank you.
35 is still quite young, right? It's not a child, right? But it's still young, right? It's still youthful. I'm 50, so I think I want to be 35, but when I talk to you, I realize I'm 50, right? You have still had the energy of my younger self, and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you sharing that with my audience. He is very, very well put together over there in what he's doing. This podcast, this show here, it gives you a reflection of him, but you really need to go back and see what he actually is doing. Um, Till the next time, man, I'm sure I'm gonna see you again. I'm definitely gonna have you. I have to declare to the world that Jonathan Simos, you are indeed a solar power voice of wellness, right? You are a voice of
Thank you.
wellness in this community, in this world, man. And they need you. We need you out here. And I'm looking forward to working with you some more. Um, to the next time, people, guests, family, and friends, we'll see you on the next episode of Solar Power Bodies. Bodies powered by the sun. Oh, Voices of Wellness. Solar Power Bodies, Bodies Powered by the Sun is my book. I keep trying to want to plug it. That's one of the books that we're talking about now. It has everything in there that we're talking about. Solar Powered Bodies, Bodies Powered by the Sun. You can find it on Amazon. And Solar Powered, A Radiant Recovery. Find those on Amazon. Dr. Timano Dentonil. Good night.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Tomato.
you. Peace.
Thank you.